I mention that I recently tried is Ferrara Box. Ferrara Box, I had never seen anyone review except until I saw a review from the Game Boys channel, and they are a box that is based in California, I believe, or so closer to me. And they just gather a bunch of different items. This box is actually one of the few boxes out there that's Disney oriented that sends a number of items that can be geared toward guys and girls. A lot of boxes are very much female oriented, so if you are a male looking for a box that might have content for you, I would maybe check into Ferrara Box. I'm really thankful that Game Boys made me aware of it. I actually ordered the Harry Potter box for myself, not the Disney box, this past month, and I was surprised by the sheer number of items included. There were at least 6 or 7 things in that box that I only paid $25 for. It's $25 plus shipping. All in, it came out to like 30 something. It wasn't that bad at all. And I got a lot of items, including 2 Funkos at least. So one thing I noticed is they send a lot of Funkos in there. They send Fig Pin, they send Hot Wheels, they do send some Loungefly things, more like pins I think, and then metal figs. Like smaller items, but from big brands. And if you're into metal fig, you know, put that in the box, the Fig Pins, the Funkos. So I like that. April's theme right now is Disney. So as I'm filming this, they do have a Disney box on their website. They won't always have a Disney theme, but right now you can get a Disney box and they will sell it until the very end of the month. So until the very last day of the month is when they will stop shipping that current month's theme, and then you have to wait until they offer other themes. Right now they do have a Harry Potter theme and a Disney theme and other fandom themes. So I just think that it's one of the few items, one of the few boxes geared toward male collectors, which is awesome. Each box is available beginning the first of the month and sold until the very last day of the month at midnight. And you'll get your first box within the first 2 to 3 weeks of the month. They can cancel anytime if you subscribe. So that's all the details. It comes with $5.95 flat rate shipping. You will never spend more than $6 to ship it, which is also awesome. And they are also separately having a Funko Loungefly mystery box right now for $25 plus $6 shipping and tax. And then they also have a Harry Potter limited edition item, like I said. So the Harry Potter one is $24 plus $6. And the Funko Loungefly was $25 plus $6. And the Funko one showed it could include anything from pins, mystery minis, plushes, etc. All basically Funko or Loungefly items, but not backpacks, more like the smaller items. So I think they're worth checking out. I actually really enjoyed my Harry Potter box, but it is randomized, so you don't have a choice of what Disney characters they send you or what kind of items once again. So if that does not appeal to you, then you maybe don't not want to look into it. But again, for $25, if you're into Funkos and whatnot, you might want to consider this box. If you're into like Pop in a Box, which is another subscription box where you can just get like 1 Funko sent to you or 2 Funkos, however many Funkos you say you want to sign up for, then Ferrara is actually a good company to look into as well because they do the same thing, but then you also get guaranteed to include more items in your box. And like I said, my Harry Potter item actually kind of impressed me. And they also send it really fast. One of my problems that I have with a lot of the companies in the US is that some of these boxes lately have been taking so long to ship out. I ordered Ferrara Box and I want to say maybe 2 days later it shipped out to me. So I had it pretty fast. So I really appreciate fast customer service. They even sent me an email thanking me for my order and asking if I had any questions to feel free to contact them directly. I just thought that was really nice. That's a nice touch. They have no idea who I am. I didn't say my YouTube channel or anything. It's just my name, you know, and they just like reached out with the customer service saying, hey, just reaching out, saw that you ordered. Thanks for coming aboard and let us know if you have any questions. Awesome when companies do that. I think that's a nice touch that a lot of people could learn from. So I actually kind of enjoyed it, and I was very close to ordering the Disney box as well. I just wanted to quickly talk about the boxes that are discontinued and no longer active as of 2021. There was a lot of boxes that went out of service in 2020, unfortunately. Some that went out of business at the end of 2019. And I'm going to include some other non-merch boxes, but among the list of closed boxes, Mickey To Your Door was one of them. They reopened, so yay! But what has remained closed permanently is Mickey's Mystery Box. They were a box that had been around since the very beginning. A lot of people opened them up, and they did close because of the parks closing temporarily. They decided they weren't into the business anymore. So there's no longer any Mickey's Mystery Box. There's no longer Boxy, which used to be a snacks box that was specifically just for snacks. Theme Park Monthly, which was part of my unboxing video or sub-box video last time, they closed back in 2018, so they are no longer in business still. Magic Monthly was one of the ones I talked about in the past. They are no longer in business. There was one that was a mystery box that I did, it was like a Facebook-oriented one, Pixie Dust Parcels. Pixie Dust Parcels is no longer a business. It's operating. Disney Treasure Box, which had moved to Hot Topic, is no longer operating. So these are all the boxes that you can no longer find around. And I would say almost RIP to the Be Our Guest Express original version from last year as well. So those are all the discontinued boxes. Pop in a Box is also a subscription box technically, because you can lock yourself into just 1 pop per month, 2 pops a month, 3 pops a month, whatever the case might be. It goes on and on and on, and you pay based on how many pops you're receiving. The cool thing about that is that you are guaranteed to receive a Funko Pop. The bad thing about that is if you want something else besides a Funko Pop, you're not going to get it in your box. It's literally just Funko Pop. So if you are a Funko Pop collector and you haven't already discovered this subscription box, there is Pop in a Box, which allows you to pick from certain categories. They do keep a track of which ones they've sent you previously so that you don't get them sent back to you, because they do want to make sure you get no duplicates. But it still doesn't preclude you from getting something that you maybe don't collect. You do have a system where you can give a thumbs down to certain pops on their website that you would never want, and they will never send you those. Otherwise, everything else is fair game, including exclusives and chases. So it's a good way to get a chase that you would never have thought you would get a chance to get access to before. The 2 pop subscription, for example, is $18.99. They add tax plus $4 shipping. So for me, it came out to $25 total to receive 2 pops. It was $10.99 is the starting price for 1 pop, and it can go up to $100. So it really depends on your price point. And with the tracking system, you're promised no duplicates of what is in their system.
Note here, I actually have heard from some people that said that they did get a duplicate or they got an item that they dumped down, so I'm not really sure how accurate the system always is, but it's supposed to work like that in theory. Another recent review I saw, somebody actually got boxes that they did not thumbs up at all, so I'm not so sure on their consistency lately. I have seen some positive reviews, some so-so reviews, but if you're into Funko Pops, maybe check it out if you're interested in mystery pops sent to you on a monthly basis.
You do have to physically and hit the dumps down for ones that you already have in your collection that you just don't want, which might be a little more tedious if you're not into doing that. I personally have trouble when I have to go through lists of pins and say, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Funko Pop collectors is the same thing. You have to specifically say, I already have this and this and this and this and this and this, and I don't want that and that and that. So just keep that in mind. But it's a very good subscription for, they're really good with their times and deliveries from what I've seen, and just overall people who like to collect the Funko Pop. So that's Pop in a Box, and that's the last one that I'm going to talk about. So the other merch boxes that I'm going to talk about are actually on the top tier of my list. And I'm first going to talk about one that, if you saw my previous review in 2019, they were tied for the best subscription box out there. And now, if you ask my opinion, I don't even think they register anymore. I know so many more people think that they are super popular and are super attracted to this particular company. They have just let me down in so many ways that I'm just, it's hard for me to be a proponent to promote them when I've seen people's negative reviews. So again, I understand that a lot of people are fans of particular companies and they might not like me for this review, but I'm going to say my truth, my opinions, and I hope that that is okay with everyone, just knowing that this is my opinion, my observations. You can agree to disagree, maybe you had a more positive experience, I don't know, but they went from here on my list of top companies to I won't even give them my money anymore. And that company is Bibbidi Boxes. Bibbidi. They used to be Bibbidi Bobbidi Boxes, now they're just Bibbidi. They have many different companies they branched out into, but they are still primarily Bibbidi. That's the Disney box. If you want the Harry Potter box, it's the Wizarding World box. They have so much potential. I'm really disappointed by what I've seen, but I'm going to tell you the pros and cons and the reason why I say this, and it's with a heavy heart. So pros. They offer 100% guarantee back. They're one of the few boxes that does that, one of 2 boxes that I know that does that. Whereas if you don't like your box, they promise to send you back the value of what you paid. They will not refund your shipping, but they will refund the actual box price, minus the shipping, once that they have received your box back in full, and you are responsible for paying the shipping costs back. That is something that Magic at Your Door originated, and that is something that they are currently also offering. So if you don't like it, you have that backup plan of saying, I don't want it, I'm going to return my items. Also, they have a spin to wheel on their page, which you can get different discounts like free shipping, 5% off, etc. So maybe you can use that to get a discount better than the codes that are currently out there. Another pro is that they have Disney boxes, they have Harry Potter boxes, they have different, they have a retail shop where they sell their Bibbidi branded items, and they also have a separate Loungefly arrangement where they sell bags from Loungefly. Okay, so that's all the stuff. They have a stickers and magnets box that's $9. It's called the Sparkles box. I don't really consider that a merch box, which is why they're not the lowest priced. But if you include that, then they technically are the lower price than Mickey to Your Door because it's just stickers and magnets for $9. But then you're adding shipping, so not really. It's $19 for their bling box, which is basically their 2-pin box. Then their lowest priced merch box is $39 for the dreams, which advertises that you get at least 3 items in your box. I've seen people get 2 items in this box, but we'll talk about that in a second. Then they have a $49 box, then they have a $59 box, $99, and their most expensive is the $119 for Ultimate Magic, which guarantees you a designer item. For the Wizard's Vault box, which is their Harry Potter theme box, they only are 2 boxes. It's $49 or $89, and both of them say that they come with 3+ items. They don't tell you any more than that. Shipping is now $9.50 for the larger box. Back when I originally reviewed this company, the shipping was only around $5 or so, so the shipping cost has gone up. And they also have Marvel and Star Wars, all that stuff. I'll talk about that later. So all their boxes are currently $9.50 to ship, no matter where you live in the US. So is it on the lower end of shipping? Yes. Some boxes charge a lot more than that, but it's not free and it's not as low as it used to be. Okay, let me get into my other cons. So primarily, my issue with this company is that I don't feel that there is a consistent lack of regard. There's a consistent regard for their customers. And I've experienced this firsthand. I'm not trying to badmouth them or anything. My personal experiences have been I've tried this company many different times. I have ordered every single price point that they have on the market. And their lowest price box actually was one of my favorites. When I went to the medium size, it was just okay. And when I went to their most expensive box more recently, they severely disappointed me, so much so that I actually returned my box. That's right, I took advantage of the 100% money back guarantee, and I was willing to lose the 1 item in that box that I enjoyed that was on my wish list because it just wasn't worth it to me. I was like, the principle of the matter is that I paid for this box with certain expectations, and I didn't get them. So one of the most biggest draws, I think, for this company is they have a cute design box, and then at Christmas time, which is when I ordered, they had a Christmas design box. I specifically put in my preferences that I wanted the Christmas design box. I also put certain items that I was looking for, and I always put this in my notes, and if they are continuing to look at past notes like they have claimed that they were, my past notes and my current notes from the most recent box did state I did not want quality over quantity. That is one of the questions that they ask. Do you want quality, meaning lesser items, but more bigger quality items, or do you want quantity? And I state in there every time, I want quantity. I know that I'm the exception to the rule. Most people say, no, I'm okay with fewer items. I'm actually not. I would like at least 3 items in my box, and I have stated that in my preferences in the past that I said I would like at least 3 items in my box. This is a subscription box. If you send 2 items to me, I think that's a joke. First of all, their lowest price box, like I said, guarantees that you will get at least 3 items sent in your box, and I have seen people open it and they only get 2. So what their wording says on their website is not 100% what you're going to get. My friend most recently ordered a box, and she bought the, I think it was the $80, what box was it? I believe she bought the $99 box, and she got $79 or something in her box, so well under value of what she actually paid, plus shipping. And when she reached out to them about this issue, they just automatically gave her a refund of the difference and didn't even like make it personalized. And they also didn't respond to her email until she put it on social media. So one of my issues again is that I've heard from other people in comments. I read the comments from a lot of people's YouTube videos and different channels, not just my own, and I've seen people express their frustrations and share their feedback. And a lot of people have similar stories that it makes me kind of like have to believe what they're saying is credible, because multiple people have the same story, which is that if they have said something negative on social media, where they said, hey, why didn't I get my box, or they questioned something, they have asked them to publicly take it down, or they've been blocked. And I just don't like that company practice. Don't block people for reaching out and saying, can I get like an update? So there's been negative feedback about that, about social media presence. One of my best YouTube friends has told me that the same was done to her, that she was asked to take something down from social media. And I just think that's kind of hiding behind positive reviews. A lot of people will say in comments to different videos, it seems like the YouTubers get better content sent to them than the regular subscriber. And you know, there is some truth to that. The YouTubers that they've picked as their ambassadors are receiving these bigger tier items that you're like, why am I not seeing that in other people's boxes? I have seen people open up boxes and they only got like 1 or 2 items in their boxes, and I'm like, they're an ambassador and they're still getting less than the advertised value. I just don't feel enough people are calling them out on these actions. If you are, my son wanted to join us, but if you are advertising something and putting it in writing on your website, I just think that you should stand by it. So I think there's been an inconsistency there. I think there's been an inconsistency in customer report. I know that when I reached out to them directly about my issues, I've had 2 different issues separately with their box. It took a while for them to get back to me, and when they did, it was very impersonal. They didn't even like make my last response dedicated toward me. I specifically told them in my last box that I had an issue with that I did a giveaway on. I mean, if you see someone do a giveaway, it's usually because they didn't like the box, right? But I did a giveaway of a box that I got because it was kind of not to my style, and they sent me items that I asked specifically not to receive. I said no keychains. I got a keychain. I said no this, and I got that. I forget the case might be right now, but if you're asking not to receive certain items in your preferences and they claim to be gearing these boxes toward your preferences, and then they don't see that note or they just ignore it, whatever the case might be, that's not a good follow-up for me. And then when I reach out and I call them out on it, if I'm not getting a personal response, it just kind of bothers me. So I'm saying this publicly because I just haven't been that impressed with what I've seen. I've seen it from other people too. It's not just myself. And I feel like this needs to be out there publicly. They might have been one of the best companies when they first launched, but consistency has not been there with this company. I don't think that what you're seeing is what you're going to get with this company. I think they're a little misleading. So if you put quantity over quality, they will probably ignore that from my experience, because my last 2 boxes, they weren't quantity over quality. My last box, I only got 3 items. My last box was the Christmas box I mentioned. I asked specifically for the Christmas box. I don't know if they missed that note, but I got a regular theme box. I save all my boxes. I actually really wanted the Christmas box. That was a big disappointment for me. Then I opened the box and I didn't even get like designer item. I finally splurged for the most expensive box, the Ultimate Magic, expecting to get a backpack. I really wanted a Loungefly backpack, and I put that in my notes. I also didn't receive that. So I just don't feel like there's been enough follow-up. I feel like there's been excuses here in this company as well. I've seen different excuses. I've seen other YouTubers call them out on certain things, and then they've gotten bashed on Instagram. They've used Instagram sometimes to talk about different things, and on that platform, they have talked about a couple of public figures, YouTubers, who said some negative comments about them in the past. And I didn't like that they took that public. I feel like that should be a private matter and not professional, honestly, when they are a company. And yes, I know that they're a business. They are a family that's running this business, but I just think there's a line that should not be crossed, and that was definitely one of them. So that rubbed me the wrong way. The lack of customer service rubbed me the wrong way. I reached out, didn't hear back from them, had to reach out to them again. Finally heard back from somebody. They didn't sign their emails. I don't know which one of them it was that responded, but they just said, "Oh, we're sorry, we'll look into that." And another week went by before they even responded again, when I was like, "I sent you back my items, can you please let me know what the status is of my refund?" It took a while, even though it shouldn't have. If I do what the policy says, which is to ship my stuff back in a timely manner, and then give you the information that includes the tracking, and then tells you that it was delivered at your warehouse on XYZ day, I'm expecting that in the next business cycle, business week or so, I will get my refund. That did not take place until I had to reach out to them and prompt them. So the lack of customer service that was geared toward making something right just seemed a little indifferent to me, and because of that, that's the reason why I don't know if I would actually give my money back to them in a future capacity. I know a lot of people have also complained about the fact that while they do have access to a lot of great items like Loungeflies and Daniel Nicole's and things like that, they do a lot of Lily & Co. Personalized and Wishes candle company. These are exclusive items that they're only sold through Bibbidi. They're also prioritizing a lot of their boxes are now sending Bibbidi branded items, and some people don't want that. And I don't like that if you specify, I don't want those items, you might get them anyway. I've seen that happen in some boxes too. So I don't think the preferences are working 100% as well as they might have been. I do know that from someone's recent review that maybe there was a new customer service person in place, and maybe that had something to do with it. But again, it just seems like excuses being made to me. If there's someone who is in charge of customer service and they aren't doing their job properly, then it's up to you guys as the owners to oversee to make sure that those mistakes are being taken care of, and that your customers are feeling somewhat satisfied to want to come back. I did not feel like my email warranted a response that made me want to come back, and that's the reason why I decided just to give up. Because if I reach out and then I reach out again and I reach out again, and I feel like I'm not getting any kind of customer service, it throws me off a little bit. I'm very much a customer service oriented person, and if I'm not getting that back in return, I just don't feel like giving you more money. So that's been my experience. I felt like I needed to say that in a nutshell, and sadly that is where I stand with this particular company, and hopefully they can make it right in the future. I don't know, I don't think they care enough to, but that's just been my experience. Pro side, like I said, they do have access to a Loungefly facility that has plenty of backpacks. So if you're looking for Loungefly, maybe they're your bet. But like I said, the one time I ordered the more exclusive box, hoping to get one, I still didn't even get into Loungefly. I was sent to Gem Shore, which I had gotten Gem Shores in my smaller tier boxes. So I wasn't that excited about that because that was the only item sent of value, and then the rest of it was like Character Warehouse items. So don't send me Character Warehouse items when knowing that I'm a Character Warehouse shopper and then expect to tell me that it's value. I was sent a bag in my last box that was priced at $40, which I know for a fact was never really $40 in the parks. It was always at least $20 or less. So I just took up a bulk of my value that I could have gotten. It felt like a filler item to me. It did not feel like it was personalized to my taste, and it did not feel like the customer service and care had been taken in preference in terms of my preferences. So another con, I will say that if you order a kid box, they do have the option to order a kid box, but their website specifically does say that they do not carry that much kid merchandise. So your box will mostly be geared toward an adult anyway. So there are a few companies that do kid boxes, but it does specify that there are not that much kid items in stock. So just keep that in mind as well if that is something that was on your radar. I know that some people were looking into kid boxes a while back and had asked about that, so I decided to put that into my review. I just want to pass along my feedback to everyone who doesn't have a voice and just let them know that these are the experiences that I've observed. Look at the comments for people's boxes. This has been an ongoing thing. I mean, there's all kinds of stories, he said, she said, you don't know what to believe. But in my case, I just don't personally think that I want to invest in this company any more of my hard-earned money, so I'm just going to choose not to do so, and they are no longer on the top of my list. Phew! Okay, guys, I hope I didn't lose you at this part of the video because I had just said some negative things about one of people's favorite companies. But now I'm going to move on. What are the top companies out there, you might ask, if I say what's the bad ones? Right now, your top companies are either Magic at Your Door, Mickey Loot, or Gifts for Mickey. And it is kind of hard for me to say this because I love Gifts for Mickey so much, but they've been like the top contenders since they first opened. I've talked about them on my channel multiple times before. The top company right now might be Mickey Loot. Mickey Loot is not without its faults either, though. I'm going to get into all of them. And I'm going to start with Gifts for Mickey. So Gifts for Mickey was the top of my list in my last edition. They are still at the top of my list, but there are some cons that have to be stated, and if I'm going to be completely impartial and just honest about all the experiences. So I will start by saying, if you are specifically looking for a subscription box that specializes in parks items, and parks items exclusively, then I don't think that there is a better company out there than Gifts for Mickey that is specifically just fully offering that. They are located not too far from the park, and they do shop at the park for you. Your items are coming from the parks or from the park resorts or from the park Disney Springs and whatnot. I'm gonna get into that a little bit. Their cons are that the website has so many different options that a lot of people have said to me in the past that they couldn't figure out how to navigate their site. There was one review that was really negative last year that really rubbed me the wrong way, and it was because the person didn't have the time to navigate through their website fully and figure out that they were being priced something, and they admitted in the review that it was their fault and their oversight, but I don't feel like you should publicly state something when it's your own fault. So I just think that if their website was a little bit easier to navigate for some people, maybe it would help their business a little bit. So here's how to best navigate their website. If you go to the Shop Now part of their website, you'll see all the options listed. It includes 6 monthly boxes and 9 one-time options. So you can also purchase just as a one-time, not be locked into a subscription, or you can be subscribed. The monthly boxes start with the Dream Box for $80 plus shipping. That is now the lowest price box they offer. They used to have one that was cheaper. That has been done away for this past year. So now the lowest price box is the Dream Box, and that is $80 plus shipping, and you're guaranteed to receive between 2 and 8 items. Then they go up to 100, then there's 170, and then 300. Those are basically the price points. In addition to the 4 merch boxes, there's also a now out of stock snack box. They're not doing any snack pickups from the parks while the pandemic is going on, so that's no longer happening. They do, however, still have their coffee box, which is still in operation. I'll talk about that in the coffee box part. They have an Epcot box or an Animal Kingdom box if you specifically want items from either one of those parks only. And those are $100 each. And then they also have a Housewares box. So my big pro for this company is that if you're looking for parks items only, they're your best bet. They're your best parks items only in terms of offering you a lot of bang for your buck. I have never seen a Gifts for Mickey box that only gave 2 or 3 items. Even their smallest tier box are always guaranteed at least to get 5 or more items in my experience watching unboxing. So I think that if you're looking for a lot of items from the parks, like more than just the usual, like typical, like minimum, then Gifts from Mickey is your best bet. If you're looking for park-specific items, in that case. And I also think that one of the biggest pros is that these boxes always arrive fast. I've always seen consistently all the reviews state that they ordered and then like the week later it was like, boom, their box is out to you. And the reason they're able to do that is because they have a lot of items on stock as well. When they were going to the parks regularly, they will also go to the parks really quickly and pick you up some items and then send it to you. I'll talk about that in a second. And then another pro with them is that they are the only company that does this, but they also offer a subscription box signature add-on, which means if you're looking for a princess signature, you could say, I want a specific princess or just any kind of princess, and they would get the autograph of that princess on the item, one of the items they sent in your box. Princess signature service was a $20 to $35 upcharge, but it was a guarantee to get an item autographed. I do have a princess snow globe that was sent to me from them for my daughter, and on the back is Rapunzel's signature. I've had it for a long time. You can see it still has retained its look. Unfortunately, this was cracked, so it does have a small little crack on the top, but it didn't arrive that way. It dropped here. My kids are very rough with snow globes. But we do have this princess one that was Rapunzel signed. And then in addition to the autograph, they also send you the postcard. I've never seen any other subscription box offer that, so that's unique to them. I think that's kind of cool. And they're one of the few companies that also offers a coffee subscription. Okay, so here's the cons. They used to do personal shopping experience where that you could specifically ask for specific items. That has now been downgraded since the pandemic. Since the pandemic has started, basically, they have cut a number of their services. They reduced the number of boxes that they offer. They're still offering a lot, but like I said, they got rid of the lower tiered box. They got rid of a couple other things, the snacks box, etc. And I've also noticed that a lot of the boxes that they've sent more recently in the past 6 months, or 8 months now, have been maybe items that they had on hand. It didn't seem as personalized to that person as they used to be. When you buy their boxes, it is just customized to gender and age like a lot of the other boxes. However, they always had a notes section or the option to send them an email with your preferences, your character preferences, your movie preferences, so that they could guarantee that you would get a box full of items that you love. I have never ordered from any box ever, by the way, without telling the company my preferences. It is up to them whether they want to take it or not. I've only had a couple of companies specifically say, sorry, we can't take that into account. Walt's Life is one of them. Gifts from Mickey is not. Gifts from Mickey would actually take your email and say, thank you so much for that feedback. We'll keep that in mind. And what I've also really liked is that this company takes such a personalized approach to their responses. They actually will get back to you if you reach out to them in a timely manner. The owner is very, very friendly. She's actually become a friend of mine at this point. And I just really endorse this company because I believe in it. And it's one of the companies that has been around the longest and continue to put out a solid product. It takes a lot of effort to say anything negative because I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. But I am going to be 100% honest, and right now, because of the pandemic, they are not going into the parks. So let me just preface that by explaining that a little bit further. I spoke to the owner about this specifically as well. Due to personal issues, health issues, whatever the case might be, because of some health restrictions, they are not able to wear masks. And this is a pandemic world, you have to wear a mask to get into the park. So while masks are a requirement, the owner is not 100% comfortable the owner is not comfortable stepping foot into the park. So they have allowed their annual passes to be lapsed at this point, and they're just not going into the park while masks are a requirement. And the owner's husband is going to the park still, but only in the outside store. So he will go to Disney Springs, and he will also go to the outside resorts. The resort shops actually have a lot of the parks merch there as well, and that is where they're picking up their items. So you're still getting your items from the parks, and that's a nice unique thing. They're not buying specifically from the outlets like a lot of the companies do out there. They are still buying a parks merch, but it's often from the outside resort shop or from Disney Springs. So things that are easier to obtain. And there were some items I saw last year that were sent that I believe they were probably purchased from Shop Disney even. And yes, they're parks items still, but they were available to the public if you had used the Disney Store website. So that was some of the negative feedback that I saw in some of the reviews in the past year. Some people thinking that it wasn't as customized to them. Some people might not always know that you can customize it to yourself, because if they don't watch past reviews of this company, they don't see that you can send them your preferences. And I always feel like people's reactions to any particular box company is less favorable if they don't think it can be customized to their preferences. And in this case, I'm telling you that it can be. You just have to do a little bit extra legwork to get it done. which is reaching out to them directly. They used to have a section directly on their website that said notes, which some people sometimes skipped. I think the redesign of their website no longer has the order notes section. I haven't seen it personally in a couple of boxes I've looked at, but you still can't send it because I have ordered boxes from her. I ordered one last summer, actually, in July. I'll put that video up above. And I told them specifically some things that I was looking for, and then they took that into mind when they sent me my items. I was like, I don't want this. Please don't send me a mug. Please don't send me that. And they took that into account. Another great thing I love about this company is that they will send you unique items, things that you don't see in other boxes. So at this point, it's become typical to see backpacks, right? Or figurines sent. And they will send that too. But they will also send things that you can only find from Walt Disney World. Like one of those things is Arribas Brothers, which if you haven't been to Walt Disney World, it's like this beautiful crystal glassware company that makes these specialized glasses or, you know, frames or whatever the case might be that is personalized. It will have like an etch or sketch of the parks icon in the background, or it might have your name on it, or it might say Walt Disney World. It is gorgeous and unique, and I used to watch the glassware makers make this when I was younger. They will send you things that are handpicked from the Japan shop. They used to go inside the park, you know, this is obviously when the park was still open, and they would send you items, it was like a food item, it'd be it would be zip sealed in, they like use like this kind of like sealing package technique that allows them to send fresh items to you, and when it arrives to you, because it's been in this airtight container, it's still fresh, and it would be things not like a Rice Krispie treat that normal people would send, but they would go inside the park in Epcot and they would send you like a brownie or a caramel bar or pecan bar from Caramel Couche, which is the place in Germany, in the German pavilion. Like things like that were just like, you kind of felt like you were in the park. And I always liked that extra touch. They used to send you parks maps. I've noticed in the past couple boxes, they stopped doing that because they're not going to the park, so it makes sense. They're going to the outside part of the park. So they're still the same service, there's still the same kind of care in terms of the items being sent to you. You'll get trinket boxes, you'll get figurines, you'll get jewelry. Alex and Ani was in my last box. I was blown away. You get ears, of course. You get cool things. I got this Haunted Mansion thing for my decor in Halloween time. So you still get unique things. It's just a matter of you might not be getting as much current merchandise from inside the park as you would potentially want. Like you can't get fresh snacks anymore. They're just not going to do that. And you just know that in advance. So I still wholeheartedly endorse them, but there are some limitations that have come about since the pandemic has begun that didn't originally exist. I'm still super grateful they haven't gone out of business and that they are continuing to offer boxes, but some of the stuff might be items that they already have in stock. In fact, as I'm filming this, they already sent me a box for review as well. I was talking to the owner, just asking her like if that was still the case in terms of what they're sending out, and she was like, you know what, I'm going to send you a box that shows some of the stuff that we have on hand. So I really appreciate that they go above and beyond to kind of like relate to their customers and have that on one-on-one rapport. Not many companies have done that. I've been burned by some companies as I've talked about on this video. So just, I would like to maintain that relationship as much as possible. And my other big con that I always mention on this channel is that their shipping is high. They send boxes only through priority shipping. So when you get a box from them, it will be whatever the actual priority box price is to ship. So $30 to California, at least, most likely. Cheaper to other places, $15 or so. That's just, you know, guaranteed, but at least you're not paying taxes. So there is that. Okay, so now for Magic at Your Door. Magic at Your Door is still one of the top performing companies. They've been around one of the longest, and for good reason. There's been a lot of reviews on it, and they've been a strong showing since day one. My biggest con, they got rid of. My biggest con was the 3-box commitment. I just could not put my head around that. They've always been expensive. They've also been expensive, so that's another con for me. I just like to have a starter box sometimes, and they have done away with their starter box. There was a $75 box that if you got grandfathered into it, which is the bronze, then you can pay a little bit less. Otherwise, the price that you're paying right now is $125 plus shipping. So that's actually more money than even Bibbidi's offering right now. And with Be Our Guest Express going lower, it's more money than them too. So they are the most expensive box that's out there on a regular basis as well. If you're looking for a merch box, they're a great one. However, will you spend a lot of money? Yes, you will. Like Bibbidi, Magic at Your Door has capped their shipping around $10. So Bibbidi was $9.50. Magic at Your Door is the $125 price point plus $10 for shipping. And that is their only box they offer right now, unless you were grandfathered into the bronze level, which is the older offering, and then it was $75 plus the $10 shipping. So that's pretty much what you'll be expecting to pay, so $135 per month. My major pro is that unlike in past years where I've talked about this company, they have since done away with their locking in of a subscription for 3 months. So that used to be my biggest pet peeve about this particular company back when they first started, was that you had to do a 3-month commitment before you were able to cancel. They haven't done that for 2 years now, 2+ years, so I actually really appreciate that you can just try it one time, and if you just need to take a break, it's completely up to you. I just don't like the idea of being like bound to a contract type of thing, and now the only one that does that is the Mouse Merch Box. Magic at Your Door has the one Magic Box, but then besides the Disney Magic Box, they also have a couple other subscriptions that you can also try out, including a 4-pack of ears. Now the 4-pack of ears they offer means that you can get any 4 pairs of ears that they list on their website for the price of $100, or under $100, because it actually comes out to $99.99, and that's the only one of their boxes that actually does include free shipping. So it is a flat $99.99, so $100 basically, and you can pick any of the 4 ears. So even if there is a $35 pair of ears, like Loungefly designer ears featured on their website, if you pick that as one of your 4 options, that can be included without any extra upcharge. So you get 4 ears for $100. That's their ears pack that you can do on their website. Then they have the Disney Magic Box, and then the other regular boxes, there are 7 one-time boxes. So there's regular one-time box that you can get, which has always been $200. They haven't really changed that price. It's been like that for a while. It might have actually been $180 at one point, but then they raised it to $200. It stayed steady at that for a couple of years now. Then there's the magical AF box, which I'm sure you guys understand what AF stands for. This is a family-friendly channel, guys. And that one is $300. They also have an Americana box currently that they're offering. These are limited time offers, but the Americana box is $140 currently. And then they have 4 different $200 boxes that you can currently get on their website. One is a Haunted Mansion theme box, one is Lilo and Stitch, one is Nightmare Before Christmas, and then the other one is Villains. Now, those boxes are all specialty types of boxes that are only available for a limited time. Otherwise, usually they only have 2 or 3 options at one given time. And all that, of course, is plus shipping, the only exception being the Create Your Own Ears pack. They also just introduced something on their website called the Limited Edition Christmas in July box. They have 3 levels, $200 to $300, plus a flat shape of $20 shipping. Or they have this new Create Your Own Engraved Art box coming June 2021, and this one includes free shipping. So the one-time boxes, I have to say, those are not customizable. So with Magic at Your Door, the one big pro is that they are one of the companies that actually takes your preferences into consideration really well, and that's one thing I've always really appreciated about this company. If I'm going to talk about the top tier boxes out there, I am saying this one's at the top because they are consistent in the products that they send being of higher quality, no filler items for the most part, and then they are also very steadily following your preferences. You have a whole preference sheet that you fill out. They also have a wish list feature, which some other companies have tried as well, but in their case, they actually do it pretty well, in that if you mark something off on your wish list, it is an item that is almost guaranteed to be one of the things sent to you in your box, because their priority is making sure that your box is customized to you, which not everyone makes that a preference. Their preferences being a big priority. So that is one thing that if you're looking for a very highly customizable box, this is a top option. They not only have access to parks items, but also licensed items, and higher quality licensed items at that as well. So you are seeing gym shores, you are seeing Loungeflies being given to people's boxes. Not in the smaller box. If you were grandfathered in at the bronze level, they've made it very clear that you're not going to see the bigger gym shores, and you're not going to see a Loungefly backpack in those price points. You have to get the higher price point, which is $125 plus the $10 shipping, in order to get that. But you have options toward that. So I appreciate that it is spelled out black and white. The other thing they also promise is that every box will get at least 100% value and then some, so you're never getting under what you actually paid, which is also kind of awesome. They are pretty consistent about that too. I've seen some subscription boxes where they say you'll get at least 100% and then they get like a couple of dollars over. With Magic at Your Door boxes, I've usually seen at least $10, if not more, over, so I will say they are consistent about keeping that promise. I will say about the one-time boxes, the only difference is that the one-time boxes, which are basically the Americana, the Haunted Mansion, the Lilo and Stitch, etc., those boxes are not customizable, so they're also not refundable. Magic at Your Door does have a 100% back guarantee if you don't like your box. If you were not completely 100% satisfied with it, you do have the option of sending your box back to them, just like Bibbidi. You do have to send all the contents in your box, and once they receive it, you'll be issued a full refund. minus shipping, but you do have to pay for the shipping out of pocket. That's just a normal practice. But with the one-time boxes, they are not refundable and they are not customizable, so what you get is what you get. And all of the one-time boxes, unlike the regular merch boxes, come with a $15 shipping price tag, so it'll be $15 plus that price. And that's only to the 48 contiguous United States too. So if you live in Alaska or Hawaii, there's an extra charge for that. I'm not really sure what it is. They don't post it on their website. Magic at Your Door did change their policies. They're not shipping internationally currently, so unfortunately for the time being, they're just US only. They have dabbled in Canada and other countries, UK, etc. But for the past year and a half, maybe even more than that, they've stopped doing international shipping just because the cost just got too high. And with every box, including the regular subscription box or the one-time boxes, you are guaranteed at least 120% back in value. So that's what I was talking about. It's not just 100, it's 120 back. So let's say if you spend $100, you're going to get $120 in value. So it's actually pretty nice that they have that in writing. If there's someone that has gotten less than that 20% back, then please let me know in the comments. But for the most part, the unboxings I've seen, it's been consistently taking care of that. The one-time magic box, that's $200. That's the one-time box you can get if you don't want to do a subscription. That one comes with a $15 shipping charge as well, and that ships 1 month after your purchases are received, so that's changed. They used to do like 3 weeks or so. Now it's actually written out in stone that it will be at least 1 month after your purchases are sent. And then the other box they offer, which is the one-time magical AF box, that's $300 box. That one has $20 shipping within the 48 United States that are contiguous. So that's all the details for the most part. They have a VIP text program that you can join. They have a Facebook group that you can trade with other people who are also Magic at Your Door subscribers. If there's something that you want for someone else's box, you can offer that up for trade in the Facebook group. They also have the wish list function that I mentioned, where you can see all the items they currently have in extra bulk stock, and you can say, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. And then those are the items that will be prioritized for your box. You're also an authorized reseller. The company is owned by Jalugo. That is the company's original business. So they have the partnership with Loungefly to be an authorized retailer with that, with Loungefly. So all the backpacks or like exclusives do get first dibs there as well. So you can also just order directly through them to get your hands on certain backpacks. They are doing a monthly golden ticket giveaway now, which is a program where you can win a free box just like Willy Wonka. There's another company that's also doing that, so they all have like a very similar idea. And I mentioned that they promise no cheap filler items and a satisfaction of 30-day back guarantee, which is on their 3 regular subscription boxes. You can get your money back as long as you reach out to them within 30 days from getting your box. Here's my thing. I mentioned that you get license and parks items. The reason that they've never been the top of my list is not everything is guaranteed parks, but you can tell them in your preferences, I only want park stuff, and they can make that happen. They do take your preferences to account, so there is that aspect. You could just make it all parks if you want to. I will say that they aren't located anywhere near the park, so they're not going in the shops. They're in the park directly buying you stuff. They actually are buying it in bulk almost, and then just giving you. They have a warehouse just like Bibbidi does, and they use that warehouse to store all their stuff. So my one con with this company is that there is this unique offering that you can customize your box for up to 2 people, but I have seen reviews where people have stated that the box was primarily geared toward one person's preferences over the other. It's not like a 50-50 split. So if you do try to get 2 different people's preferences listed for one box, you run the risk that one person might be more heavily geared toward than the other. They don't make an effort, it seems, to kind of make it like an even split of 3 items here, 3 items here. That just hasn't happened consistently, so that is a risk that you take if you want to do like a mother and child box, or 2 partners or something like that. The other major con is that this, unfortunately, will always be the most expensive box offering out there. So you kind of get what you pay for. Yes, this is a lot of money and a big investment to just go into mentally, knowing that I have to pay $125 out of pocket and that's it, and then I might do that monthly. And that's a lot of money for some people, including myself. I can't do that monthly. But I will say that I have not ever seen a box sent that didn't have at least one major big quality item sent in there and then some. Like they say, there aren't any filler, like there's not going to be a pack of mints and that's considered one of your items. But you are getting like more thoughtful items that meet a certain price point and a certain expectation. Are they as unique as the items that you can get from Gifts from Mickey? Half the time, perhaps not, and that's one of the reasons I always still lean that direction, but it's just a solid company. It's consistent, and I know that's the reason why they've gotten such consistently positive reviews for such a long time. A lot of the people's only reaction to say before was that they're expensive, and that's what I will continue to say. I still will say it's a pricey box, but is it worth it? I think so. I haven't had a box from them that I wasn't 100%, but I have seen people say that they weren't sure that they completely got their preferences or got them or the type of items that they were looking for. So there are also exceptions. This is just my experience I've had with them. But in terms of the US boxes out there, this is a solid company to look into. That brings me to my very last box. So I mentioned my favorite Parks box, Gifts for Mickey. I mentioned the solid option with Magic at Your Door. Now I can say that I think that the #1 top option currently that you can currently find in the United States for a domestic Disney subscription box has got to go to Mickey Loot. It's kind of interesting. When this company first debuted, I didn't really give it much thought. Like, the pandemic was in full swing. I was just like, who is this new company? I don't know much about them. But they've kind of have like an understated presence and are sneaking up on people's radar, I have to say. They also have their faults too. There's not to say any one company is perfect, but right now, in terms of consistently delivering a box that people are tending to like right now, I think Mickey Loot is taking that prize. And I like Mickey Loot because there are different price points. There is a lower price point, and there's also a super expensive price point if you just really do want to splurge. One of the major pros that they have on their side is that they are one of the few companies that is consistently offering on every single box type, whether you order a one-time box, a subscription box, or a limited release box. Every single box on their website comes with free shipping. I have no idea how they're doing that because shipping is really expensive in the United States, but they are offering free shipping to everyone. So that's a major plus on their side. Another major plus is that their lowest price box starts at $40. So your $40 box is literally going to be $40. It's not plus tax, it's not plus shipping, it is $40 flat. So they have what is the tier ticket system, from the A ticket to the E ticket, which is modeled after what Disneyland used to have their tickets. When you used to have an admission ticket to get on rides, you would have the A ticket, which is like the very low, minimum ride, and then the E ticket meant you had all access to everything. So A, B, C, D, E, in the alphabetical order, are their box names, and that just determines what price you're doing. So you have a $40 box, a $75 box, $150 is the third tier, that's the CE ticket, $200 is the D ticket, and then the most expensive is $300 e-ticket. I have yet to see someone open a $300 ticket. I heard someone boast recently, they're like, we're gonna get the biggest box. So I think I know who's gonna be getting that box, and all the power to them. Can't wait to see it. But that's can I get in on that box next time, guys? But they have those boxes in addition to the regular tier tickets. They also have Star Wars and Marvel box, a pin trading box, and they now have a newly art themed box where they send art as well. So that's a lot of boxes, because that is 9 different offerings that they are currently having on their website, and that's not including the limited release boxes that they are offering on rotation. Right now there are actually 3. They just released a new one the past week as I'm about to film, and it was the World Showcase themed box. So if you like different items from around the World Showcase in Epcot, there was a new limited release box for that. They previously had a Cinderella that's now gone. They still do have Indiana Jones in some tiers, some price tickets available, some price points not. And the last one that's available currently, I'm blanking, but I know that there were 3. So just to keep on their website and checking that out. I'm actually about to consider getting the World Showcase box myself because I'm such a sucker for those items. I love Epcot in general. And it's not just Epcot snacks. It's not just World Showcase snacks, which is what I've tried that box before and from other companies, but it's like all World Showcase items. So it's kind of got my attention. And then with their art box, you can get anything from prints like wall art to art books. And the difference in their prices of their boxes is that the classic Disney box comes with 2+ items. The B ticket comes with 3 to 5. The C ticket comes with 6 to 8+. The D comes with a lot. They don't tell you at that right point, but they say it's meant for couples, small families, and basically just multiples to enjoy. And the E-ticket is like for the huge Disney collector. And with all their sub boxes, they also have the option to receive an extra magic item, which is a bonus item that they throw in that is over the value of your box point that you paid for, but it's just something that they decided to gift you as a subscriber. In my very first box for Mickey Loot, I was shocked to receive that I actually did get an extra magic item. They actually have a new partnership with Artland, which is, if you don't know who they are, they're one of the biggest pin companies out there right now. They make these beautiful, artistically driven pins, and they have an exclusive partnership with Mickey Loot to help, you know, promote their pins, and so they will give them pins that they can send out in their boxes. And in my first ever box, they gave me this Ursula pin. I already had her in my collection, but I know what she's worth. I know that she goes for $40 retail and then some, so I was shocked that they gave me that extra bonus value in my box when I only paid for a $40 box to begin with. It was just mind-blowing. And then in addition to the pin, I also got a pair of ears, and I forget if I got another item, but I was just really shocked. I know I got ears and the pin. All good. And then I decided to try them again, and I just wanted to test them out to see, was that a fluke? Would their boxes be as good as the first one? And they actually did do a really good job in my second box too. My only cons on Mickey Loot, now I did say they weren't perfect. I have noticed that, especially with my second box, they took a little bit longer than their lead time suggested on their website. And they do have reasons for it. I did reach out and ask, is my box still on its way? After it's been a couple weeks, like 3 weeks or so, and they reached out and they said, we are so sorry. We're actually in the midst of a move, and they were moving from, I think they were North Carolina or something, and they were moving to Orlando. So they're actually moving their business space over to Orlando so they could be closer to the park. And because of that move, some boxes had been delayed, and because of COVID, some boxes have been delayed because they were ordering some items as well. So a legitimate reason for some delays, but I've heard a lot of people mention that now in different videos, so you know, delays are a real thing. I will say that one of the things they did say in their email to make up for it was that we don't want to compromise quality, so we don't want to rush out of box just to rush out of box, which I actually I can appreciate that a little bit. I mean, if you want to make sure that your customer service and your product is right, just let your customer know it's going to be a little bit longer, just be patient, and I'm sure they probably will. I appreciated that they did tell me that. I did have to reach out first to get that kind of response, I will say that, but at least they were very gracious about it and pretty quick to respond to that. I did send them another email about a limited release box, however, and I did not hear from them as quickly. So I have heard some feedback about like delayed customer responses in terms of emails and whatnot. But they do have hours in which you can reach out to them directly, and they have a phone number listed, so that's kind of cool. I like that they have a lot of options to choose from, different price points. You can go low, you can go high in price, whatever you're comfortable with. And I like that they are sending you parks items as well as licensed items as well as small shop items. They run the gamut as well as what they're putting in their boxes, but they're all thoughtfully curated to your preferences. Not a single item that I received so far was not something that I had on my preference list, which I really did appreciate as well. And I will say their limited release boxes are unique too, because not only do they have a certain number of these available, once they sell out, they sell out, but in addition to you buying a certain themed box, you can actually customize that to you. That is unique. No one else is doing this really right now. So they will ask you, what's your size, what's your gender, what are your favorite characters that fit the theme, and then they will look for stuff that fits the theme and what you specified. So that's actually really nice that they're like specifically going out of their way to make sure that it is accommodating to you still while fitting the overall theme of that box. So I like that a lot. It's a successful business model that seems to be working for them. So I've just seen positive reviews for the most part for them. I'll say my only con is that they haven't sent me a free box yet. But maybe more really, I did hear from someone that said that they did reach out to social media asking what delay was for their box, and I guess maybe Mickey Loot might have responded by deleting that comment. And that person reached out to me because I saw my review and wanted to let me know that, and they were like, just so you're aware, this might be happening. And I don't know the circumstances behind that, but again, I always say, please businesses, do not delete these comments. Take care of them. Please bring them to the forefront and make sure that you are addressing your customers. I'm sure they were. Again, I don't know the circumstances of that particular situation, but when people tell me things, I just feel the need to just share that. And hopefully we can all just create a nice positive dialogue, because that's the best. But for the most part, from what I've experienced, I've actually experienced good customer service and good positive boxes, and for a domestic option, that is my top choice. That brings me to the conclusion of part 1 of this video, which is to say that although I said that's my favorite box in the US right now for giving a consistent product, my favorite box is actually not a US box right now. My favorite box is actually international. And to find out what my favorite box is that tops the US competition, you're going to have to tune into part 2. This is already going to be a really long part 1, which is why I'm going to split them into 2. But the second part, I'm going to talk about the international boxes, as well as some of the food boxes you can get, Marvel themed boxes, Star Wars themed boxes, and even candle boxes, Disney candle subscriptions. So if this sounds like something of interest to you, you want to learn about more of those companies sending out these Disney goods of all kinds and sizes, then please stay tuned for my part 2. I really appreciate you guys. If you have stayed all this time, let me know in the comments. Let me know I stayed to the end. I just really appreciate you guys' support. I know this video series was has been in demand for a while. I know I took a long time to get it out this time. I really wanted to make sure I did my research and that I gathered my thoughts. Because I had a lot of comprehensive thoughts about all these companies that I want to make sure I said to you all the points that were on the top of my head, just because I know so many people haven't had a chance to try out so many boxes yet, and they should have all the facts. So that's the purpose of this video. It's not meant to slander anyone, not meant to make anyone upset. It's just my opinions, my thoughts, my observations based on what I've seen. And I encourage you, again, if you are considering buying any of these boxes, definitely go check out the reviews. I mean, not just the reviews on their own websites, but go look up on Google, like a third-party site. There are some subscription boxes, like My Subscription Addiction and things like that, that will talk about some subscription boxes. They're not always the most, sometimes they're bot reviews, but just look at different sources if you really want to find out about a particular company. And then also do like a YouTube search. Just check out other reviews for that company. Were those boxes paid for? Were they sent by the company? Are these authentic reviews? Are these more recent reviews showing what you're going to get like now, not 3 years ago? Look at all those factors to kind of figure out whether a box seems that it might be more your speed or not. And that's the best way to just figure out what might appeal to you. That's how I've discovered different boxes and tried out boxes, and I have even new international options I've been trying out. Even now I'm ordering some, and I cannot wait to try them. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Again, just want to keep this as positive as possible, so please, if you have any comments, keep them positive in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon in part 2. Bye guys!